many people had Paris Saint-Germain favourites for this year's Champions League, and last night they put down a real marker with a dominant win over Aston Villa in the first leg of their quarter-final.
A late goal meant they won 3-1 in Paris, but in truth it could have been a lot more, though Unai Emery was bullish and he's hoping that the Villa Park atmosphere can inspire his players next week.
2-1, we were thinking for the next match playing to win, and with 3-1 still being the same. We need win the next match. I am very proud of the players playing here against PSG, and we compete fantastic. And we were close to get good results. At the end, with this goal, still more or less the same, because we will win the next week, I believe.
OK, well, for more reaction to last night, now we can head live to Paris, where our reporter, Daniel Kahn, is waiting for us, enjoying a spring morning. I mean, Dan, when we just looked back at the highlights, I mean, is there anything Villa could have done differently? It does feel like 2-1 is a very different scoreline to 3-1, and that last goal was quite deflating.
Yeah, good morning, Hannah. I think so, absolutely. I mean, it was such a tough game for Aston Villa. I mean, we've seen them perform in the Conference League last season, the Champions League this one, against some huge teams. But I think this fell just another level. I mean, compared to, say, Club Brugge in the previous round. I mean, PSG, I think they were really the cause of this. I don't think it was necessarily Aston Villa performing badly on the day. I mean, Unai Emery, when we've watched his European games, I've covered quite a few of them now in the last 2 years, away from home, he usually sets his team up to be very difficult to beat. I think with PSG as well, I don't think that was a surprise in that sense. You know, we saw Jacob Ramsey almost become a left wing back in that first half and make a five at the back. Usually they'll defend in a 4-4-2, but they weren't able to do that and get out because PSG just controlled the game so much. When Villa took the lead, obviously, through Morgan Rogers, that felt like a pivotal point in the game. If they could get to half-time 1-0 up, maybe PSG would have felt a few nerves in the second half. But that goal by Doue, as we saw there, I mean, that just changed the whole momentum of the game at that point. I think PSG just went flying from then on. But I think going into the second leg, I think Unai Emery perhaps will see a few tactical changes. He did say after the game that he'll learn from that and he'll adapt the team to try and win the game. That's what they have to do, of course. But I wonder if we'll see some personnel changes as well. Marco Asensio and Ollie Watkins both started on the bench yesterday, came on for the last 10 to 15 minutes. And I think that was the biggest change, is without Watkins, they didn't have that ball, that target man to really get out from the back, the defence, the midfielders who are very deep. When they did get the ball, a chance to play, they didn't have that outlet. So I think that's what they'll need at Villa Park. But as well as the personnel and Unai Emery, they're going to need the fans, aren't they? Because they have such a tough mountain to climb. And that's what Unai Emery is calling on in the second leg.
We are very proud of everybody supporting Aston Villa the way we are doing. And of course, to enjoy in Villa Park next week, quarter final Champions League against Paris Saint-Germain. And of course, the Prince William, the supporters, the old supporters, they were living in 1982, the Europe winning, and the younger supporter. We are going to try to enjoy, to have one day special as well in Villa Park, and try to get our best.
And Dan, a word on PSG. Already knocked out Liverpool. They beat Manchester City in the group stage. Did they underline last night why they're favourites for so many?
Absolutely, James. I mean, you just look at how well they work as a unit. To watch them in person was a pleasure. To see how fluid the system is. I mean, you have alternating fullbacks in Nuno Mendes, who ends up being a winger. You have Achraf Hakimi, who alternates between three at the back to being a winger to a 10. He's even a 9 at some points. I mean, it was brilliant to watch. But I think also they're a far cry from what we've seen in the last decade from the teams. Even Unai Emery managed the big names of, you know, Messi, Cavani, Mbappe, Marco Verratti, Zlatan Ibrahimovic as well in the last decade at PSG. What you could see now is an absolute unity, every player working. I mean, look at Khvicha, Kvaratskhelia, who scored the second fantastic goal. I mean, he was their big money signing in January, £60 million from Napoli. He's still tracking Marcus Rashford back in the closing stages of the game. Someone who's worth talking about as well is Doue, the young Frenchman, 19 years old, who scored that first goal. As I mentioned, it's such an important part of the match. I mean, he made the move from Reims last summer, and you look at his stats, I mean, 13 goal contributions in his last 12 games. He also has been called up to France for the first time in the most recent international break, being capped for the first time. He seems to have a very bright future. I wouldn't be surprised if he's involved in some Golden Boy conversations later on this year in terms of that award. And I mean, let's just talk about that goal. What a fantastic effort. He was off balance, and Emi Martinez didn't even dive for it, so hopefully that shows just how good that was. But as I mentioned, this PSG team, there's no ego, they're all working for each other, and that's what Luis Enrique is trying to build over the last 12 months.
From the last year, and especially this year, we changed more or less our DNA, trying to sign young players with a lot of quality. We have that resources, and I think it's important try to develop our idea not only with the young players, which is important, but also with the experienced players. And I think we are in that mix, that important mix, with the confidence and with the enough energy to try to go through the next phase and try to make history in Paris.
Well, I'll tell you, as Luis Enrique said after that as well to me in that news conference, that they're going to be going to Birmingham to win. That's all they know. That's all they know how to play. So I think Aston Villa and Unai Emery have a very, very tough challenge at home. But let's not forget, they've beaten the likes of Bayern Munich there in the Champions League this season. They've been fantastic at Villa Park since Unai Emery has been in charge. Although they are 3-1 down going into the second leg, you just never know, because Unai Emery is a mastermind when it comes to European football.